Hello and welcome to this video where we'll go into filtering using DuckDB SQL. We'll use the same dataset as we used in the last video, which was the salaries.csv, which we find in Kaggle. But if you haven't seen that video, no worries. I will go through how to get the dataset. We'll go into Kaggle and then afterwards download that dataset and put it into Visual Studio Code. We will go into to do the filtering, go through some logical operators and case when. This will be really interesting and I hope that you will learn a lot in this video. Let's move on to find the dataset first. Here I am in Kaggle and this is the dataset that we'll take. Data engineering salary in 2024. Just scroll down here and you can click here to download that dataset. And when you download it, you will have it as a CSV file, and what you should do is just copy the CSV file into your Visual Studio Code. Here I am in Visual Studio Code and you can see I have a data folder where I have this salaries.csv. Let's increase this a little bit. SQL. I'll have this folder and inside this SQL folder we'll start with ingest salaries.sql. Okay, and here I will start with ingesting this salary, create table if not exists, data jobs as select. This is the same as I did in the previous lecture, but I will just do it one more time here. Select star from read CSV auto, and in the reference point of when I'm outside of this folder and running the terminal, then the salaries.csv is inside of data. That's why I go into data /salaries.csv like this. Okay, and this is done. I will see my colon here actually. Yes, save this one. Okay, now it's time for us to ingest the data. Note where I'm standing in the root folder and I'll run DuckDB. I will call this salaries.duckdb and I will do input redirection. And the thing I want to redirect in is this SQL command here, this create table, right? We will need to go into SQL and ingest salaries.sql. I use tab to autocomplete. I'll take enter now, and what you can see is that we have salaries.duckdb. If I will open this one, duckdb-ui salaries.duckdb, and this opens up in the browser. I'll divide it in this way. Let's see. Okay. Like this. And here I will open up a new one and I will call this filter 05, filtering salaries data. Okay. I'll click, you can see, I'll click away this one and I will have here a new cell and you can see this is the salaries database. Okay, let us create a new terminal here. And now I will see if I do ls, you can see I have data, SQL, and salaries.db. I will go into SQL. And here I have this ingest salaries. Now I will create more SQL. I will create more SQL scripts. Touch, where class.sql. What else do I want? I want logical operators.sql. I want case when.sql, and I want to have more filters.sql. Okay, if I do ls, you can see I have these SQL files now in this folder. Keep this away, and now I will go into this. I will do code where class, start there. The where class, we start with selecting, select from data, it's called data jobs. And then I want to select count star first. If I select count star from data jobs. Let's see what we get. Paste it in here and I run this one. I want to remove this side panel here. You can see the count star gives me 16,000. Now I will copy this one and I will do a filtering now. First, we just did a select query and then we did an aggregate function. The count star is the aggregate function. Now it's time to do a where clause. Where salary in USD is smaller than 50K. I copy this one, and before, actually it's good to do this with the desk of data jobs so that you can see what the content is inside. Here you can see, here are the column names. I have this salary in USD. I have this work year, this experience level, etc. This is good to do to start off with seeing what is inside of the database. What you also can do is that if you take out the side panel, you can go into here, salaries, and here you have data jobs, and you can go down here. There's all these columns here. Okay. That you can do with the GUI. Okay, now let us copy this code. Now I'm doing filtering and I'm doing a row filtering, right? Because we will count on all the rows where this is true. This is true when the salary in USD is lower than 50K. If I run this one, you can see, 569. If I change this to 60K, you can see it's a little bit higher, right? These are all the rows which fulfill this requirement, this condition. Okay, how do we now? I want to have the next one. I want to find entry-level jobs. Okay, if we scroll up a little bit and we can see entry-level jobs, we have experience level, right? To get the experience level, we can start with doing select distinct experience level from data jobs. Starting with this one, that we know which experience level exists. Okay, you can see there's SE for senior, EN for entry level, MI for mid-level, and X for expert level. I'll create a new one, and now it's time for us to find entry-level jobs. We'll do select star from data jobs, where experience level equals to EN. Okay, I'll copy this one and save it here. Now you can see we have 1,325 rows and all of them are entry-level roles. And you can see here data analyst, data engineer, data analyst, etc. Yes, cool. What else do we want? We might want to find the median salary for the entry-level jobs. That could be done. I have all my entry-level jobs here. I will copy this one. Find median salary for entry-level jobs. Here, the median salary, you take median of salary in USD as median salary USD. Okay. Here I just take the median of the salary in USD and give it an alias. We learned about alias before, which means I will rename it as this one. From the data jobs where experience level equals to, okay. I can also take some more statistics here. I can, for example, take max, or I can take average also. Average salary in USD as in salary USD. Okay, I'll copy this one store it here, and I'll run it. And you can see, yes, here we have median salary in USD and mean salary in USD. These are for the entry-level jobs. If you want to find, for example, the mid-level jobs, then we just copy this one, Shift Alt down button to copy. And now I will do, instead of entry, I will do mid-level, okay? Copy this one. I'll go into new cell, paste it in, and I'll run this one. And you can see it's considerably higher than the entry level, which is what we expected. Nothing strange here. Moving on to the next part now. Okay, let's open up our case when, since this is what we're going to go in now. Case when, you can see it's similar to if statements or if then statement in other programming languages. If there's a condition that is met, then something else will happen to change it with something else. Let me show you an example of this. Starting with, if we go here, we take select star from or just from data jobs. And you can see this is the data jobs that we have. Let me increase this one a little bit more. This is the data jobs that we have. What I want to do is that for experience level, since we see it here, I want to change it that it says senior instead of SE. MI should say mid-level, EN should say entry level, and X should say expert level, okay? To do that, you can do like a select. And here we do case when. This is the syntax where it's case when, and then you have end. And then here from data jobs, okay? This is the main syntax for it. And then when, and you have then as well. Okay. And then you may have several of these when then, okay? This is the skeleton of this select, this case when. Okay, when we choose which column that we are looking for, and it's the experience level, right? Experience level. When experience level equal to SE, then I want it to change to senior level. I'll decrease this one time so I can fit everything. Okay. Senior level or just senior? Yeah, you choose. You can have senior level. And then I will just remove these ones and I will copy this for 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Remember Shift Alt down button or Shift Option down button if you're in Mac. Senior will have mid-level, and then this one will be called MI, and here we have EN, and we have EX. Here we have expert, and here we have entry. Okay? And then we have something called this end as experience level. If I don't do this, you'll see what will happen. If I copy this one, and I'll just run it like this, and you can see there's case when, this whole case when the statement will be here. However, this is very tricky to read. It's important to have a alias. I call it experience level. What you can see here is that there's something in, if we add this one as experience level, and you can see, cool, we have changed it, or we have gotten a column where these experience level are there. We have a senior level, mid-level, etc., which we have changed using this case. However, all our other rows have disappeared, right? Or all our other columns have disappeared. What I do here is that I will include star, which is all columns, and I will exclude the other experience level. If I just copy in this part here, you can see what happens. Let's see, let me just do it like this. All right, I need a comma here. That is very important. Comma. If I have a comma there, I have a comma there as well. Right, there's this symbol here that I need to fix. Yeah, what this comma makes is that, okay, we put in experience level here and take in the rest to the right. Comma is like, this is the first column and then the rest of the column, but we exclude the experience level from the star. It means that this still have the same amount of columns, but the experience level have changed because we have created a new experience level with these correct labels or these labels that we wanted. Now, if we do from data jobs, see what we get. Okay, the problem here is that you still see experience level as the previous one. And the reason for that is that we have selected it. Here we have just done select. And in order to actually update it and change the database, we need to do update. It will persist the changes. It's always good to do select first. You should always do select first to see that we get as we want. And what do we want here is that we want to change the experience level labels, right? Now, when you have done that, we want to persist the changes. And for doing that, we do update data jobs, and then we do set experience level equals to this whole case here. Okay, save this one. And then let's see, create a new one and run this one. When I ran this one, it says one row. Let's see. If I do from data jobs, we can see that it has been changed. Okay. This one, it returned just this number of rows, but it has done the updates. It has persisted it. You see, if I do from data jobs, we get all experience levels here, which are correctly formatted. We can do, for example, now to check that, we can do select distinct experience level from data jobs. If I copy this one, run it here, and you can see entry level, expert level, mid level, and senior level. Okay, let's move on. This was case when statement, and let's move on. Here we'll do ingest. We have done ingest salary, logical operators. Take a look into that. Here we might want to do some filtering. Select, for example, job title, comma, experience level, comma, salary in USD from data jobs. Now we have just picked out 3 columns, right? If I copy this one, I go into here and I run it, and you can see we only have these 3 columns: job title, experience level, and salary in USD. However, I want the salary in USD to be I want it to be into Swedish crowns, okay? Then I should take a look into the currencies. 1 SEK, $1, 1 USD to SEK, and you have 944, okay? Then we have 9.44 times, or actually I can put it. Yeah, I can do it here, then you can see the changes directly. This one times USD. However, I want to divide by 12 because I want to have it per month as salary SEK month. Okay, I run this one, and you can see this is the salaries per month. Okay, I could also round this. Round. Okay. This is the salary SEK per month. Okay, but I want to filter it. I want to filter out those that are really paying a lot, those jobs. For example, in Sweden, like 200K per month That is a lot of money, a very high wage. Where I will see if we can find those. Salary. Now we have salary SEK month, right? If that is larger than 200K, I run this one and you can see, wow, 1,000 rows, that is a lot. And we can maybe filter that and see that, okay, I want to copy it normally here. Salary SEK is smaller than 500K, a little bit smaller, but still a lot. Or we could narrow it down to 300K. 200 to 300, we get this much. These rows, and you can see the job title, experience levels, usually mid, senior, right, and expert. That is a lot of salary. We'll just copy this one and go back here and copy it here. This is a way to filter in between. What we have done here is that we have created the salary SEK month, and then we use the salary SEK month to filter. It means that the select statement actually goes first, and then we do the where to filter it. Here, let us continue where this happens, and then we'll have order by salary SEK month descending. And as you can see, this is how you build upon your SQL query. Here, I run this one, and you can see it's descending, right? From the top down. Okay. And we can do similar thing, but instead of using the two logical operators, we use these comparison operators. Here we have, I will say, remove that one. We'll say between 200K and 300. Then we need to have salary SEK month is between this. Okay. Otherwise, all the other logic are the same. I put it here, and you can see we have 939 rows. We start with 298933. Okay, great. Now you can see this is more readable than this one. You can use between and. Now we will show or operator. You could, for example, you can select count star from data jobs, where experience level equals to senior level, or experience level equals to expert level. Okay. Semicolon. Copy this one. And we'll run it here. And you can see I get many. If I take, for example, here, you can see I get 0 because you cannot be senior level and expert level. 4, and you can see I get many. If I take, for example, and expert, you can see I get much less because most were in the mid and senior level. Cool. We also have a not operator. I can just copy this one. For example, I don't want senior or expert. I just want the junior, and I want the entry, and I want the mid-level. I take in not here. Otherwise, the logic stays the same. Run this one, and you can see, yes, it's 5,000 something. These are just the mid-level and entry level, not the senior and expert level. Okay, cool. Let's move on to more filters. This will be the last part that I will show. We can do using in operator for list filtering. What you do is you do select distinct count star from data jobs, where company size in medium or small. Okay. Copy this one. Now these are all the company size in medium or small, and of course you could do for example, not in, and then we only get the large ones. If that is the only ones that we have, the rest that is not medium or small, okay? And these were in operators. Basically, you take this list of the items that you want this to be in. As you can see, this is quite readable syntax. Now we move on to filter class. And for this one, we can do like this. Select, count star as total jobs. And then I say from data jobs. If I just copy this one, you can see this is the total number of jobs. However, I do want to filter on when we only have remote jobs. So that is what I want to do. And I want to calculate on the percentage of remote jobs. But let's start with this. I will have comma to get the next column. I will do count star here as well. However, I will do count star filter. This will filter out the number of rows here. I'll filter on remote ratio equals to 100. Okay, starting with this, we can call this as remote jobs. This is quite neat, I think. And now you can see, total jobs are many. Remote jobs are many. We can continue here, comma. I will copy this one. Count star filter remote jobs as remote jobs. And then I will do here, let's see, not count star, but I will do remote jobs, which we have gotten here, right? I want to divide by total jobs. And this is percentage remote jobs. I need to take times 100, and I will do rounding as well. Copy this one. And now you can see percent jobs is many, percent remote jobs. Then I'll just round it. Round. Copy this one. Yeah, 31%. Cool. And then I will show one last thing of offset filtering. If we want, you can jump over some rows in the top from data jobs, offset 6, for example. This one will give me, if you just take, now you don't know about that. Okay, the first here is ML engineer. However, I will create another one, another cell here that you can see from data jobs, okay? This one you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we start with ML engineer. And also we see 34 here, we should have 28. Yeah, 28. And you see the first one here is ML engineer. Basically here is to offset it with 6 rows and then select everything, right? Yes, and this was what I wanted to show you in a filtering lecture. What you should do now is to make sure to, okay, first of all, we will go into our DuckDB here and close it down. So Control D for Mac, Control C for Windows, and you can see connection to DuckDB is lost. And you have your DuckDB database here. Close it down, close this down. And the reason why we can do, if we want to remove the .val file as well, do DuckDB salaries, DuckDB, and then you close it down normally. Yes, because for some reason, when we have opened the UI, the .val file doesn't disappear. I think there's a bug there. But that's nothing to worry about. Just open up DuckDB again and close it down, and then .val file will disappear. And to just check, you can do DuckDB salaries, and you can do from data jobs. And I wanted to see that these were persisted, the experience level, senior level. Yes, those that we have persisted this database. Okay. Make sure to commit and push your changes to GitHub. And also make sure that you have in your git ignore DuckDB and .val file, that you ignore those. In this video, we have learned about filtering and done it practically. We have filtered using where class. We have used the case when statement to change and update the data a column based on different conditions. And then we had shown a little bit more about the different filterings, and we have also shown different logical operators. I hope that you've learned a lot in this video, and see you in the next one. Bye.